How much caffeine is too much caffeine? Does the limit exist? See, y'all always think I'm playing at the end of that video, but look, I walk the walk, okay? I'm trying to keep y'all hydrated and moisturized. Okay, put on your chapstick and your lotion. Oh my God. Hold on, though. Stay. Ah, look at you. Sit down. Look at that. I done forgot my sunscreen. I was almost a hypocrite. But I'm gonna put it on right now. This heathen will back up off me. This is my favorite that works best for me. That doesn't make me look like Casper the Friendly Ghost. And I try to put about, well, I just made a mess, but usually 2 fingers worth. But that kind of just became a glob. Oh, or no, put on our sunscreen right here. If you come up, sir, the chaos that this doll brings to my life is unmatched. Honestly, he's a mess. Okay, I think it was slightly less than I normally put on, but whatever. We're gonna make it work. We're gonna make it work. But yeah, I tried the 70 in the same one, and it's too thick. It definitely leaves a cast. Okay. All right. So. Lotion on the hands, we got chapstick on, we got our sunscreen. Okay, let's get it popping. Nigel, can I have some room? Can I sit? Can you move to the side at least? Can I get in? You don't need the whole chair. Like, can I get in? Okay, thank you. Here. Hey, hi, hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jess, and hey, welcome to part 2 of Book CommuniTEA, where I keep you abreast, where I try my best to keep you updated on the goings-on, the shenanigans in the book community. Hey. So the first thing, I feel like this half is less juicy than the first half, and maybe I should have spread up the juiciness, but I thought I was, but I put like real heavy juice over there, and over here just getting mild. I'm sorry. Okay, this happened last week, and it is with Jenna Bush Hager, who is the daughter of former President George W. Bush. So she has a book club, and it's Read with Jenna. And as all book clubs, it seems, are big popular ones like Reese's Book Club, Oprah's Book Club, they come with stickers. They put stickers on books, which the majority of us book nerds do not like stickers on books. I know there's a small amount of people who don't care, but anyway, they usually have a new book that's coming out in their book club that they're gonna read together, and they get editions of that book. I don't know if it's all the editions of that book or they just get a certain amount that are printed with their sticker on it. For the most part, it's like a permanent one, not even one you can remove. My least favorite. So the December pick for Read with Jenna is The Bluest Eye by Toni Morrison, rest in power. And obviously that is not a newly published book. The Bluest Eye was published in 1970, and this just happens to be the book that she or her readers, I don't know how they choose books, chose for December. And it was reprinted, I believe, with the sticker on it.
No, ma'am.
So she's holding up a picture on her Instagram, which I'll insert here, showing the book that's picked for December, and it's The Bluest Eye, and it has a little sticker on it. And I didn't see anyone on Twitter talking about this for the most part. This was mainly on Instagram. And so someone shared it and said, this is not sitting right with my soul. I have so many questions. Where are the Black people on these teams? Who's leading this book discussion? How is the discussion going to be framed? Why didn't you just do a recommended reading list of your favorite books? This is just wrong. And someone else said that sticker needs to go. I get it for a new book, but what we're not gonna do is act like this Bush lady is helping Toni Morrison, the They said, this the Christopher Columbus of book clubs. So yeah, it was just upsetting people because obviously, like I said, it's not a new release, so it's not like it needs promoting, you know? Like, I think it's great that that's her choice for the book club, but I think it is a fair point of who is going to be leading the discussion, because as much as you can go into that book with good intent, I don't know if she could be the best person to lead the discussion about that book. And then really printing it and having that sticker on it as if like, oh, I'm putting my name on this, I'm giving this book recognition. Because I think that's a big thing in those book clubs with the big names like Oprah, Reese, and Jenna, to get even more recognition and attention brought to books. And it's like, Toni Morrison didn't need that. And so I just scrolled through on Instagram her post and all the comments under it, and the majority of them are bookstagrammers who are just like not happy, very upset. And then of course there's like a random one from like a publisher like, oh, we're so excited, but everyone else's comments are like, no, it is very colonial and disrespectful to place your branding sticker on an influential writer such as Toni Morrison. She doesn't need your advertising, take it off. While I'm happy to see Toni Morrison's work be exposed to wider audiences and The Bluest Eye is more than deserving of special notice, it's very disappointing to see your book club sticker stamped onto such an iconic work of Black fiction. New readers just now encountering this book may not understand that Toni made enormous effort throughout her writing career to avoid the white gaze and white approval. Since a lot of us here are wondering, can you disclose how this decision to permanently stamp this sticker onto a reprinting was come to, and who was consulted? So I didn't see any replies from her account, of course, and then in the following post I didn't see anything, so I doubt that she or whoever handles the Instagram for her book club will say anything. But that was just disappointing. It's just like, it really does not need that, I mean, on any work that's being reprinted, but especially not a book club led by a white woman on such an important fictional work written by a Black woman. So I'm just gonna sigh. So I did look up why Jenna chose this book, and she said it was because it had meaning to her. In this article, she talks about talking to her sister about when she first read The Bluest Eye by Toni Morrison, that it was assigned to her sophomore English class. And at first it was just another homework assignment, and then she said it quickly turned into reading a book I felt I had chosen for myself. I remember marking it up like I had never marked up any books before. So she was saying that while she couldn't necessarily relate to the main character, there was no way you didn't empathize with Piccola. Thematically, she had never read anything like that, because the book talked about adult subjects with the underlying themes of racism, otherness, and feeling not good enough. And she knows those were things that her classmates of color were dealing with. So she said it's the first book that really opened her eyes to how literature can create understanding and take you into worlds you don't know. At the time, The Bluest Eye was banned across some Texas schools. And so it made that book more special to her because she knows some people couldn't read it. And now as this debut novel turns 50 years old, it still holds incredible power to spark current conversations. While this fact is heartbreaking, it also shows how complicated and complex some of these themes are. So I am happy that she has read it before and she already has a perspective of what the book is about, so it'll be good for her to reread it. I just hope that there are people of color in the book club who can also add to that conversation, because I think the book club members would get the most out of a diverse conversation, discussion about the book. So this is a comment from a video last week. Obviously, there's been a lot of discourse about the Sasha Alsberg situation, where someone sent me more photos of evidence that she was traveling between Boston and London, which seemed frivolous, like it didn't need to be, and that she obviously was not quarantining when she was getting to London. And so that's very upsetting, but I'm not going to keep going on about it. We know we've addressed that situation. I just wanted to add in that I then saw the first tweet I saw was from Courtney Milan, the romance author, who said selling ARCs isn't illegal. And so I didn't know that, to be honest. I thought like it was, but I guess it's not illegal. It's looked down upon from what I have learned from Twitter, but it's not illegal. So it's just weird, this whole discourse, because there's been so much negative tweets and conversations before about bloggers hoarding ARCs, selling ARCs, stuff like that from authors, and now there's nothing. And this is, I mean, I did see a smaller author talk about the situation, but from anyone larger, that's the only thing that I've seen, like, it's not illegal. And it's like, okay, girl. So hopefully they keep up this mentality if this comes up again, because you can't have it both ways. You can't be upset this person is selling ARCs, and then when this person is doing, you're like, well, it's not illegal. So it's just like, keep that same energy. We've got the screenshots, so if this conversation comes up again, we will pull out the receipts, okay? So kind of similarly to that with ARCs, I saw an article that was shared by Publishers Weekly about BookCon, BookExpo. And it said BookExpo and BookCon are no more. So BookCon and BookExpo is like the biggest US book convention, and it's usually end of May, and it's usually held in New York City. So the article says US book publishing's biggest trade show is being retired. Show organizer ReadPop announced today BookExpo, along with BookCon and Unbound, will not be held in 2021 after being canceled in 2020 due to the pandemic. So they said, given the continued uncertainty surrounding in-person events at this time, the company has decided that the best way forward is to retire the current iteration of events as they explore new ways to meet the community's needs through a fusion of in-person and virtual events. And so they did do, earlier this year, they had 6 days of free virtual programming from May 26th through the 31st that were the original days of BookExpo and BookCon. So they also said the pandemic arrived at a time in the life cycle of BookExpo and BookCon where we were already examining the restructure of our events to best meet our community's needs. This has led us to make the difficult decision to retire the events in their current formats as we take the necessary time to evaluate the best way to move forward and rebuild our events that will better serve the industry and reach more people than we were able to before. We remain committed to serving the book community and look forward to sharing more information in the future. So it did say that they would continue to host the BookCon Facebook group and keep doing virtual content at least. So like I said, BookCon is like the biggest US book convention, and I feel like one of the biggest. I feel like people come from outside the US to go to it. I've never been. I've always wanted to go and like meet up with bookish friends that I haven't met before, and it seems like that is not going to happen, at least anytime soon. There are other conventions that are in different parts of the US. I'm obviously not even in America right now, can't even travel, but hopefully at one of those events I'll be able to meet some of my bookish friends. But I just wonder what this will do to what effect it will have on like publishing in the book industry, because I know that's where a lot of advanced reader copies or ARCs are given out. Lots of promotion for publishers and authors and all their panels. Obviously they can do like panels and things online. So it's just interesting. I mean, I've wanted to go and then also kind of not, because I've seen the chaos that ensues at BookCon and BookExpo, but I don't know. They're saying retired, so I don't know if they're going to bring it back, revamped, maybe 2022 or something after, if we ever get through COVID. But for now, it looks like that's not happening, so sad face. So next was an author being a little messy on Twitter. So you know on Twitter you can link like your Twitter and Goodreads. So if you're doing updates on Goodreads, it'll link to Twitter. I think, I don't have my links, I don't know, but you know, you always see people like currently reading or 55% into The Way of Kings or whatever on Twitter. So a reader did that. Her status says 75% done with The Daughters of Erie-Town by Connie Schultz. And then it said, I don't care about this book, ... because it like cuts off the rest of whatever your status was. So the author, Connie Schultz, replied, well, thanks for sticking with it as long as you did, Laura. I do care about it. So the reader did not tag the author in this. And Goodreads doesn't automatically tag the author in this, so she either was searching for her name or the title of her book and then replied to the reader, and that is so cringy and so weird. So the person who tweeted this said, authors, stop searching your names / titles on social media. Stop jumping into reader spaces, just fucking stop. And it's like, I always feel like anything you say about a book, especially when you're not tagging the author on Twitter, Goodreads, Instagram, all these platforms, even YouTube, are for other readers, for them to know how you feel about a book, see if they like it, see if they won't like it, that they're not for authors. And now I imagine it's probably hard to refrain from searching your name, from giving yourself a quick Google or putting your name into YouTube, but it also is not good for your headspace or to go searching out reviews. Now, granted, you're probably gonna find some great ones, but then you're obviously gonna find some ones that are less than great. So it's just awkward. She did apologize though. I don't know if she saw other people's tweets about not doing that, but Connie said, Laura, I want to apologize to you. I was really glad you lasted as long as you did, but I should have kept that to myself. I wish you only the best. So I'm glad that she realized that, and hopefully going forward, she doesn't make that mistake again. But if you're an author thinking of being an author, don't do that because it's weird. Try not to search for yourself, but if you are going to, please don't like directly come at a reviewer. No, obviously if it was positive and you're like, oh my God, thank you so much, that's different. And I do not agree with anyone tagging authors in negative reviews. But yeah, that right there, when you weren't tagged and you obviously went searching for it and then replied, super cringe. Ugh. But she did apologize, so good for Connie, and hopefully she stays in her lane. So Epic Reads, I'm pretty sure most people in the bookish community know what that is, but I think they are under HarperCollins, not exactly as a subsidiary or a publishing house. They're like an online community that hype up, promote the young adult books published under HarperCollins. If I have that wrong, please correct me, but every year they have their Book Shimmy Awards. So they have different awards like Best Debut, Best Thriller, whatever, kind of like maybe their own Goodreads awards, but specifically just for the books published under HarperCollins. And they also, in that awards, have a Book Nerd of the Year category where, I don't know, 5 or 6 people in the bookish community are nominated, and then obviously you can vote for them, and then all the other categories. So per the theme of 2020, there were no book nerds that were of color nominated. Or at least not when you look immediately at them. I can't speak to anyone's, ethnicity. They could just be white passing, but there were none. So then of course they had to be called out on it because they couldn't use their eyes and look and see there was no diversity there. So their thread on Twitter is, hi everyone. It was pointed out to us that there's a lack of representation in the Book Nerd of the Year category in our Book Shimmy Awards, and we agree. We can do better. We always want to ensure that we're reflecting the vast range of readers who make up the YA community. The Book Nerd of the Year nominees have all made positive and amazing contributions, which is of course why they're nominated to begin with. Moving forward, we are taking even more steps to advocate for creators from diverse and underrepresented groups, because that's who you are and who we are, and we wouldn't be epic without y'all. We love hearing your feedback, and we always welcome it, whether it be via social media, email, or in person. Remember what that was like? We appreciate y'all always and forever. So here are just some things that bothered me. It said that it was pointed out that there was a lack of representation, and we agree, we can do better. So just why did it have to be pointed out though? And then we always want to ensure we're reflecting the vast range of readers who make up the YA community. If you were, then this wouldn't even be an issue. And then the Book Nerd of the Year nominees have all made positive and amazing contributions, which is of course why they're nominated. Are you saying you couldn't find any creators of color who've made positive contributions? Maybe I'm reading into it. And then moving forward, we are taking even more steps to advocate for creators from diverse and underrepresented groups. Now, what steps are those? It's fine you say that, but then usually they never add in what steps those are. So that's what I would like to know. Someone replied, so maybe y'all should scratch that category this year and bring it back next year when y'all have a more diverse selection of nominees. Also, why not leave the nominations up to us, the readers, and not y'all's staff if you're really committed to doing better, which is an excellent idea. I didn't know about these awards till this year, but yeah, I'm assuming that their staff does the nominations. So that also would be helpful if you actually ask the community, because maybe you would get a better representation. Because I personally know and watch many creators of color who love YA and promote it on their channel, promote it on Twitter, so on Instagram. So it's weird. So yeah, I don't know is that something you could vote on? Obviously I would have missed the deadline by now, but I don't know if that was something they put out, like a link to vote, or if you could even like nominate and then they chose the people who had the top ones. So that would be interesting to know, but it just, you know, and I'm not going to say it. I'm going to say it. How in 2020 are we still doing this? It's just a mess. And then there were some great threads on Twitter about it. There was a great thread by Ashley at Bookish Realm, and she said, let me tell you why I'm not surprised by the epic read stuff, a thread. Black people, I'm only speaking from my Black experience, have always had to work 10 times harder to have their voices heard in predominantly white spaces. It is of course no surprise to me that even in 2020, epic reads failed to include Black and other POC creators in their awards. They issued an apology yesterday and committed themselves to doing better. This is what I was talking about in June. People in this community were quick to call themselves an ally. They were quick to identify what was wrong and say it was wrong. But what are people doing to rectify this wrong? Are they educating themselves? Are they holding implicit bias training? Are they restructuring company policy so that they don't run into the issue of creating award systems that have biases? Until creators and companies alike truly start doing some soul searching and commit themselves to being accomplices, nothing will ever change. It's easy to ride the wave of a revolution because it's the socially acceptable thing to do, but it's more difficult and challenging thing to continue to fight for that movement when everyone else around you appears to be silent. In my video, which is now private, I said this community would go back to what it was doing before in 6 months, and it has. Change isn't instantaneous. It doesn't happen overnight. If you thought reading a book and posting a statement on Twitter was going to change past behaviors, you will always be disappointed. Do I think these companies should be held accountable? Yes. Do we need to continue to accept these "we plan to do better" statements? No. From now on, there needs to be actionable plans in place or I won't believe you. There are creators and companies that I don't believe in or trust for this matter alone. You don't get to determine that relevancy of diversity was confined to this summer. You all know better, so do better. And until you truly want to do better, not a damn thing will change. And I mean, I don't need to say anything else on the subject because that is exactly it. There's always we plan to do better, we're making steps to improve, but it's like, what? If we are your target audience, you need to tell us. It's not some internal meeting. Like, you do need to have those discussions internally to plan how you're gonna do better and make those steps and rework, your whole system, your mission statement, all that stuff. But then you need to tell your audience what your plans are to do better, not just we're gonna do better, trust us. It's like, okay, we are gonna do better. And then you go and you have these meetings and you come back and you're like, we've talked about it and we're doing this. Our employees are doing this. We are hiring this. We are making sure we have more Black and POC people in these meetings, in these boardrooms, working in these groups and reaching out to readers and having more readers of color involved in things that we do that involve the community. And I want to see it. Like, I just don't want to see your tweet. I want you to tweet your action plan and have a link to your website where we can read it. And then when you fuck up again, you can be like, oh, well, you said you were going to do this. And that's being held accountable. You need to apologize, make a plan, tell us the plan, and then we can see if you actually hold to that and then keep you accountable that way. And obviously Epic Reads, like I said, I don't think they're like a publishing house, but that's just for any company. And you have to start deciding, like, you have to make a choice. When a company says they're going to do better, they let you know how they're supposed to do better, and then they continue to not, then you have to be like, okay, I can't support this company any longer. Look what happened with Book Outlet. And well, for a while it was Book of the Month, but that's gone. And then just different things like this. you have limited power. Obviously, we can spread awareness, but if it's something where you can directly stop purchasing from that, stop promoting, stop using something, and it doesn't happen in every case. Some things are more complicated than that, but sometimes you can make that choice, and we need to. So this isn't just directed at Epic Reads. This is all these companies that said, that posted a black square, that said they were going to do all these things. They were listening and learning. So what did you learn, and what are you going to do going forward? Because I want to know. I don't want to see those bullshit things. And that goes into apologies from creators also, or authors, Jess Clueless. What are you going to do? How are you going to be better? How can I believe when you just went on this racist rant, when you do this racist shit, that you say sorry, and then I'm just supposed to believe that you're going to be better? How? I need to see you put in work, and then you need to let us know what that work's supposed to be, and then I'm gonna watch you and see if you hold up your end. I'm not a well-versed person. This is why I read tweets by other people who can explain it better, like Ashley, and also Mariness at My Name is Mariness. Always incredible. She explains everything so much better than I can, but it's just frustrating time and time again. It's December and you haven't learned anything. So that's just, tired, Jesus. But anyway, that was with Epic Reads. So I don't think they're scratching it, and they'll probably go ahead with their nomination, and whoever will win, who knows what they'll do next year. Honestly, I don't have high hopes, but we'll see. Okay, and lastly, I'm not even inserting screenshots this time because I'm tired. This is the same conversation. This keeps happening, especially lately. So I just want to talk about it in case you were confused on what was happening on Twitter on Wednesday night, Wednesday day, whatever time it was for you. So I'm gonna explain it, and then I'm gonna stop. So again, there was a tweet by a fellow booktuber, Jessie, that was referencing book hauls again. So I don't know what has been happening with them. If somebody has messaged them or commented on their video about book hauls. I did see a tweet from them that also said that they had friends that had been, attacked, or people made comments about their book hauls. But again, it's coming up because this came up like 2 weeks ago, and then I feel like there was a discussion last week, and now it's here again. So they made this comment, and then people were getting upset just reading that comment. And so then there was the team of, why are people still getting mad at how people spend their money, like people live? And why are you mad we're buying books? Like, when we buy books, that doesn't affect you. Like, don't be mad you can't buy all these books. I'm gonna buy all these books if I want, yada, yada, yada. But then there was the other side where the conversation, I guess, actually started. That was the context behind the whole thing. So I mentioned a couple weeks ago in a video that the Philippines were hit by some really severe tsunamis. And so they have been struggling. Obviously, they are also in the middle of a pandemic like we all are. And then they've been hit by these massive tsunamis. So there's been massive flooding, and some places are just like underwater, and people don't have food and resources and all of these things. And so I do have links in my description. I just want to point that out. There's like a link to a card with different ways to donate to the Philippines, and I've tried to retweet on Twitter some Filipino booktubers who have ways to donate that you can donate directly to them, and then they're showing you proof that they're donating it to different resources or organizations. And so the conversation really was that you can continue to go on and post about these hauls, continue to spend your money on all these books, but not at least even retweet a donation link. So people were upset because when a lot of the Black Lives Matter protests were happening this summer, that they were supporting us and supporting donation links and talking about it on Twitter, and they're feeling forgotten about and left out, and basically pointing out a lot of US readers, people in general, are very self-centered and only focused on the West. And I guess you can include the UK in that really too. and that so we're not supporting them enough, and basically they were referring that to hauls. Like, you can sit on here and keep arguing and defending your hauls or buying all your books, that's fine, but at least a retweet, that's free. Like, at least talk about it, bring it up, bring awareness to it. So I totally understand that frustration, and I at the beginning was retweeting and sharing, and I will admit that I fell off. I'm not gonna say I didn't, because I obviously did know, I saw a lot of people tweeting about it, and I could have been more vocal. I don't always remember to tell people about the links in my description. I try to switch them up to keep them updated with the latest thing that was going on, like SARS in Nigeria, that information, which I don't think I talked about either. So I definitely can do better in being more aware and using this platform that I have to share that awareness, so at least that you know, and you can go look at those resources, you can share them, you can donate if you have the means. So that was really the conversation last night on Twitter. And so there were people who didn't understand the actual context of the conversation, and they were like, why are we talking about this bullshit again? Like, mind your business, I do what I want, I buy my books. And then people are like, we're literally just saying that you're not supporting us how we supported you. And so then of course the consumerism thing came in there, and it's just like, I'm so tired. I just want to say, stop it, get some help. It's just frustrating, and I'm not gonna have the conversation in this video, because then the video is gonna go up and then it's gonna just be comments. So it's definitely something I would be interested to talk about in like a live, so there could be actually like a conversation. But anyway, if you can, please go, if you're on book Twitter, then you've probably seen it. So at least just retweet a link. If you can afford to donate, great. If you can't, at least retweet links so someone else may be able to donate. They can see that information, and then that's at least you doing something, because in this community of readers, it is very easy to think we're just all in our home country, especially me. It's a lot of us booktubers are American, so it's very easy to just focus on what's going on in America, because America is a disaster, but so many other countries also are going through so many things. And I know that it's very hard to keep up with everything, especially this year has already been really hard mentally for all of us. So I'm not saying that you have to be up to date on every single thing going on. I know there's a lot of things I don't know that are going on, but if you do see it, if it does come across your Twitter bio and people are just asking you to reach your Twitter bio, your Twitter timeline, and just retweet information to at least get it out there. Maybe when you do see something, you're like, oh, this is the third time I've seen it. Maybe click on it, read it, just get a brief idea of what's going on. But I know it's overwhelming, because it's just like the world's constantly on fire. So just do your best within your, your ability, but don't like burn out mentally, and share things when you can. If you have the means, donate, but if you can't, at least awareness is always free, and spreading that awareness. So that was mainly the conversation. Like I said, I'm not putting in screenshots. I'm just not bothering with it, because it's gonna happen again. And it's just not the point. It's deeper than don't watch book hauls, which I did say in a video a couple weeks ago, just because I didn't want to have the discussion on it again. And deeper than it's my money, mind your business. But we're just not going to go into that conversation right now, because I'm tired. I'm sure there's more. I'm sure I missed something. I'm sure there's something happening right now, so that there'll be another video for Tuesday. But I'm tired. I'm tired physically, mentally. I'm just exhausted. Anyway, per usual, if I missed anything, misinterpreted anything, you want to add anything to this conversation, please do so in the comments below, because I love the discussions that we have down there. And please check out my description for links to information about things that are going on in the world. There's alternatives to Amazon, links to bookshop.org, which I am an affiliate, so if you did buy a book through my link, I would get a small commission. Libro FM instead of Audible, and then there's my social media, and just always look at the description, pretty please. So take care of yourself, like I said earlier. Stay hydrated, stay moisturized, put on your sunscreen, wear your mask, wash your hands, stay home if you can. If you don't need to leave the house, please don't go out places. I'm so freaking sick of COVID. And give this video a thumbs up and subscribe. And I thank you so much for your support and for watching this video. So take care. I'll see you in my next one. Bye. You know, left your bed and you left your toys. Now you squeezing in this chair with me. Okay, so I'm gonna need you to sit down. Jesus be a fence. Is this crooked? I'm not changing at this point. I don't know. Okay. Hey. No. Hey, sit down. Sit down. Please. Nigel.